Okay, so we've got all these fused. It's now time to cut our little X's in the windows. And what I find helpful is to just take a small ruler and line up your two corners. It just helps so that you cut straight. I'll make a little X. And then I just kind of check to make sure my little X went pretty far into the corner here. Now it just needs a little... So you see when you fold these back, which is what we're going to do right now. Let me cut this one. Let's do one I've already got cut right here. So here, now what you're going to do is you're going to fold this up. So see, this is our front side. Let me just grab my camera so I can see here. So here's your front side, and then the back side here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our little iron, which I still have on right here, and we're going to just go ahead and kind of glue that to the back there. Probably hard to see because it's white on white, but there we go. And we're going to go ahead and do that on the other pieces here. One thing I forgot to mention is you're also going to need some template plastic. And you're going to have to cut out 6 windows. So I have my 6 windows ready to go here. Got those cut out. It's now time to start to go sew. And the next part of this is we're going to be sewing the binding on those interior pieces that we just fused to the interfacing. So let's get going with that. We have a Mr. Jingles right here. So we're getting ready to do the binding, and you want to press your binding in half just like you're going to do a quilt binding. And this is the length of the fabric, 2.5 inches. And you are not going to be able to see this, but I'm going to just fold this back for a second. 1/4 of an inch from this edge, I've got a mark here, and that's where I'm going to stop sewing. And then from the very edge, in 1 inch. I've also got another mark. That's where I'm going to start. And eventually we're going to cut some of this tail off, but for right now I've just got it pinned right here just to kind of hold it. Okay, I've got the right foot on now, so we're going to go ahead and start sewing. You're going to want to take a couple stitches and lock it in, so forward and backwards, just a couple. And then we're going to go to our mark and back stitch. And of course I forgot my scissors. Okay. If it's not my scissors I'm forgetting, it's usually my glasses. Every time I think I'm ready to sit down, I'm not. Okay. So we did that little piece. So now you're going to flip it up just like you would like regular binding, which I think I got too close. Maybe not. Okay. What's kind of nice is this little handy tool. It has every measurement. It's got 2 sides. Has every measurement on it. So I'm going to measure 1/4 inch from this edge once I've got this folded over. And I'm going to take my pen, make a mark. So this tells me where to start. It's going to tell me where to start right there. A little mark. Load this in. Go ahead and lock that down. We're going to do the same thing when we come up to this corner edge too. So again, lock the stitch in, a couple stitches forward, a couple stitches back. We're going to come up to our first corner. And again, let's take out our measuring tool here, and I'm going to measure 1/4 inch just from that corner so I know where to stop. Make a mark. So I'm going to go up to that mark. I'm going to back stitch a couple stitches and remove it again. So on this one I'm going to just kind of fold it so that I get this even line. So I'm even with that roof line there. So you just want to kind of fold it kind of at a 45 degree. Come back just a touch and get that even like that. You kind of see how that's folded there. Okay, so again I'm going to take my little measurement tool here and I'm going to do my 1/4 inch right from that edge. Mark it. I'm using a pink pen on green so I can really see that mark. Okay. Go ahead and bring it back in. Lower your needle right on that mark. Couple stitches forward, couple back. Now before I start going up this one, I'm going to go ahead and mark my 1/4 inch while I'm up here. With my pen real quick here. So on this one here, on that point, so I'm going to fold this again so it's kind of even, and then fold it down. On itself. And just line up these edges here. And again, you're going to make another mark there, that 1/4 inch mark. This can be a little bit hard to kind of hang on to. But can you see how that's folded like that? But then it's lining up with the other side of the roof right here. It's lining up. So let's go ahead and make another mark so we know where to set our needle. Okay. Again, I'm going to mark this lower one, and I'm coming down to the edge of the roof line here. Give that mark real quick. So you kind of saw how I went around there. I'm going to finish going around. I'll come back when I get down to the end here. Okay, so I've made it all the way around. Again, on this edge here, I stopped 1 inch from the edge and then did a back stitch there. And then I trimmed off some of my excess, but I want to make sure that they overlap a little bit here, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap them by 1/4 of an inch, and then what we're going to do is open this up like this, and we'll sew right sides together. And that's okay if your little house bends a little bit, okay? You're going to pin those and then sew that together. And then when it flattens back out, you'll be able to finish sewing all the way across. So the first thing is to get this 1/4 of an inch and try to get it kind of in the middle a little bit here. So I'm going to go 1/4 of an inch over from this one. I can kind of see here. So there we have our 1/4 of an inch. And what I did last time is just try to, I'm going to trim some of these strings here. I tried to flatten the seams open when I put it down as best I can. Just so it'll lay a little bit flatter. I don't know that you need to do that or not, but that's just what I did in the first one I made. Okay, that looks good. Nice and flat. We're going to go ahead and sew this on. And we have our first house with our binding on it. So we're going to go. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the pieces. This one is the toughest, and that's why I wanted to show you this one. So even though this is going to be a little bit of a longer video than the other ones, it was important to kind of see. Hopefully, you could see on that what I did. All right.